Hello, welcome to the Engineer Construction Lecture Hub. This is a platform where you get updates as regards to construction. Alright, so today we are going to look at a very important topic that has to do with construction. Alright, today we are going to look at beacon. Okay, beacon, we always see it, but most of us don't understand what it actually means. Okay, you might be, passing a particular area and you see it, you might not know what exactly that concrete pillar symbolize. Okay, so today we are going to look at it extensively. So today we are looking at the purpose of beacon. Now, as you know, beacon is very important. Okay, it's very important in defining the key areas of our boundaries. Okay, that is why I said it is important to know that beacon is a key for defining land boundaries. Now, when we talk about land boundaries, we are looking at the geometrical formation of our land. Now, having established those geometrical form, by knowing the length, the breadth, and all of that. Now, it is the beacon that helps to now show the edges, okay, from where it starts to another end. Okay, so it is the beacon that defines those positions. All right, with respect to their various distance, relative to their various distances. Okay, so that is what beacon does. So I said it is important to note that beacon is a key for defining land boundaries, and I also said it usually has a unique number recorded in our official survey plan. Now I want you to understand that in that concrete beacon, if you look at it, you see some numbers written on it. All right, now those numbers written on it are usually reflected in the document, okay, in the official survey plan. Okay, that number is reflected on that survey plan. Now that number helps to give the actual definition of that land. All right, so that is why it's important when you get your landed property, you must do surveying. Okay, now in that surveying, a surveyor will have to come, take the coordinates of that location, then translate it into a survey plan. Now in that survey plan, it shows the location of that land with respect to the coordinate. Then it also shows the distances it makes, the boundaries, okay, in terms of the distances it makes from one beacon to the other beacon. So basically, beacon is there to define land boundaries. Now, I also said the purposes, are as follows. We have the first one, to ensure legal ownership with accurate documentation. Now, as I said, these lands are defined. Now, as this land is defined, it is being allocated to a particular individual. All right, so and that is usually incorporated in the documentation. So that is why you see in a survey plan, you have to see the name of the owner of that land written. Okay, it appears at the top. Then you now see other details in terms of the drawings, in terms of the coordinates, in terms of the registration numbers, and all of that. All will be, will appear in the documentation. So basically, when you see such a document, it gives the right of ownership to a particular individual whose details or whose name appears on that survey plan. All right, so that is why we have it that one of the purposes of beacon is to ensure legal ownership with accurate documentation, because those beacons bears numbers. All right, and those numbers are attached to a particular name. Okay, and that name belongs to an individual. So that is the relationship there. All right, then the second part of it is that to prevent land dispute by marking out clearly the boundaries. Now with your beacon will help to show clearly the size of that land. Okay, it will help to give a clear definition of how the scope or the extent of the land All right. So in the case of dispute, maybe between your plot and the other plot, all right, with your survey plan, it can be able to settle that dispute, because once you bring your survey plan, the other person close to you that having dispute with you brings his own or a survey plan, then there will be a kind of cross check. Okay, try to analyze both survey plan. By so doing, you can be able to settle dispute by that survey plan that has those beacon numbers, because those beacon, they are coordinate points. All right, so with your coordinate, you can with your instrument, you can coordinate those beacon points. All right, then that will help to settle the dispute. So basically, those beacons help to mark out the boundaries clearly. Okay, it helps to mark out the boundaries clearly. So it's important that when you get your landed property, you should get a surveyor to do the surveying of that land and establish these beacon points. All right, it is those beacon points that helps to clear the kind of distinguish your plot, give a clear distinction between your plot and the other plot close to you. All right, so that is for that. Then I also said to guide construction in order to prevent encroachment. Now I want you to understand that when these beacons are established, it will help to guide the construction process. All right, such that the construction will not exceed the limits of that plot of land, because the beacons helps to establish the boundaries of that plot of land. So when you have your beacon, it will help to guide the construction, especially when you're carrying out your setting out. All right, you carrying out your setting out, you can be able to know your setbacks to take and all of that. So it is from the beacon. Then also, if you want to coordinate any point within that land, all right, it is from the coordinate, it is from the beacon that will be a benchmark where you're going to take reference from to establish any other point within that plot of land. So basically, beacon helps to guide construction, okay, in order to prevent encroachment, because most times you see that there are usually encroachment going on during construction. All right, but once there is beacon, in the absence of beacon, there might be room for encroachment, especially in areas that are still developing. You see that in the absence of beacon during the construction, there are people that tends to build and encroach into the other plot of land that is close to theirs. All right, so but with your beacon will give the definition of the size of plot that you have, and also it will guide how the construction will be done. All right, in order to ensure that the building or whatever you're constructing is sited inside of within the perimeter of that plot of land. So that is that. Then I also said it assists government in planning of roads, and general development. Now, in like I said, in the developing areas, these are places where there are some amenities that will be provided. All right, so but when you have your beacon, okay, when you have your beacon, for example, you have a beacon here, okay, for example, you have a beacon, this is a road, okay, and you have your beacon here, you have another beacon here, okay, you have another beacon here, you have another beacon here. So this is now your plot of land. This is the plot of land. So with this beacon now, this road can be offset from this beacon. So when you have other beacons along this direction, you see that when planning for this road, the planning of this road now will be done in line, will be parallel, okay, to these beacons. All right, so that is why beacons are very, very important, okay, and also in provision of other facilities or amenities, maybe ground facilities. You see that beacon will help to give direction. So all of this comes under the aspect of assisting government in planning of roads and general development, because general development can also come in the place in terms of provision of amenities. You can get your groundwater facilities, electrical fitting, wirings underground. You have your water utility pipes and all of that. Now the beacon will help to give that required offset, okay, and also it will help to coordinate all of that. So that is why beacon is very, very important, you know, in terms of defining the boundaries of our land. All right, so do well to follow this page if this is the first time you're coming across my video, for more updates, more insightful content as regards to construction. Thank you very much, and do have a wonderful day. Thank you.